Thanks everyone. So I'm just going to introduce now. Welcome to Chris Bolton. Chris is from the Welsh Audit Office, the Good Practice Exchange team, and he's going to talk with us about working with narratives to better manage risk and see beyond inattentional blindness. So welcome, Chris.
I've got a better title than inattentional blindness and things like that. So it's a point, how do you see beyond the obvious? How do you get to what you're looking for? And I've used this analogy of how do you listen to the whispering in the woods. And there's a lovely picture of my local woods there. It may not be what you've seen. Every day is full of information sitting in front of us. We make decisions about it. How much a question to you? I mean, a bit like my picture of the woods, if you took in 100% of that information that was in front of you, it's a suggestion in terms of how we cope with that overwhelming sort of push of information that's facing us. We probably use about less than 10% of what's in front of us. Because that's what we pick, because that's what we cope with, because if you dealt with everything, it would just be far too much to cope with. So there's coping mechanisms we've dealt with. There are other places of cognitive biases. I think I saw the phrase, there are 200 cognitive biases we've developed, and lots of these are about how we sort of cope with all this information. The three I want to talk about this morning are pattern recognition, which is this inattentional blindness area, this idea of satisfaction of search, the first fit rather than the best fit, and then this idea of retrospective coherence and how that works around fitting reporting systems. You know, we went back and saying everyone was talking about the invisible gorilla. There's a book about it, but went back to look at some of the research, and this idea of inattentional blindness is quite interesting, and it's poor old radiographers get picked on every time for this. And this piece of work they did, what you've got in front of you are two pictures. These are CAT scans, you know, the bits where they slide you into the tube and that machine makes funny noises and takes basically X-ray slices of your body. They use that to look for abnormalities. This one, they did some work with some radiographers, real experts in their field, highly trained, highly respected, and basically they look at these slices. It comes up on a screen, and this is a thin slice of the machine as it sort of chopped, you know, metaphorically chopped your body into slices. That you can see there is your lungs, and they're looking for little white nodules. The little white nodules might be abnormalities that are cancerous, so they're looking for those. Really important job, real experts. They say, we want to test, you know, are you seeing what's there? Gave these people these scans to look at. They're looking at that, and it's great. Great, you know, getting results. They're logging them. They went back and said, oh, some of them even did some tests with some machines they put on them to see where their eyes were going. But they said, right, who spotted the gorilla in this one? And this is, they used the gorilla because of the work on the invisible gorilla. But you won't see it from the back. But just there, so these slides are available, but just there is a gorilla. Believe me, it is there. But it's not what, it stands out. When you see it, you'll see it. But it's there, but it's 48 times the size of one of the cancer nodules. And that 48 times, when I was measuring it up, the actual dimension, it's the size of a matchbox. So a matchbox, you know, about that tall, that wide, it's quite large, and on a scan like that, you'd think people would see it, but they didn't. And they even plotted these eye movements, so people were looking through. That blue spot there is people hovered over it, but didn't see it. They weren't looking for it, so didn't see what was there, which is quite important. I think that notion that I'm looking for the white spot, I don't see the bleeding big gorilla, which is the same as the stuff with the people playing basketball, which is quite an important thing. And I say the radiographers, always seem to be the ones that get picked on for this. Some of the figures they had, when the radiographers were doing it, the success rate of actually spotting these abnormalities, the proper cancer nodules, about 55%, but they missed 83% of the gorillas. And then the other figures, when they just left it to novices only managed to spot 12% and missed all of the gorillas. Just a reflection back to you. In your work, you're out, you're looking for what you know. Do you ever spot gorillas? Can you just take a moment, and this has been deliberately set up that people don't know each other on the tables?
Yeah, as far as possible.
Great. So it's a chance to form friends. So this is like a bit of a sort of instant get to know each other. So just have a chat with each other a moment. Just some reflection on that. Have you ever missed a gorilla?